Hi, my name is Mary McClare, and I am part of the Society for Canadian Women in Science and Technology, a non-profit organization that aims to improve the influence and presence of women and girls in STEM in Canada. Check us out online to learn more about our programs and opportunities. Now on to the video. Have you ever heard the saying, memory of a goldfish? If someone says this about you, it probably means you have a bad memory. But what does that say about fish? Do they have bad memories? Are fish even able to think? Why do people think that fish are dumb, and are they right? Well, I was wondering that myself, so I reached out to Veronica Groves, a graduate student at Concordia University. Veronica has a strong background in environmental science and spent most of her research studying fish and their behavior. What does she do now? Well, she studies fish, guppies to be exact. She's trying to observe whether or not guppies are able to learn and cope with stressors such as predators and changing temperatures. Why is that important? Well, Veronica explained to me that with the rising temperature levels from climate change and the predators that roam the waters, guppies have to prove that they can learn to adapt to both dangers, or else they won't survive the wild. So the question is, can they? Well, let's see. Before we talk about research, let's talk about guppies. Fish are very complex creatures who even have distinct personalities. These fish are usually kept in a quiet and safe environment and are only taken out of their tanks for testing. The fish receive a high-protein diet to make sure they grow strong and healthy. Guppies are different from many other fish because they are live-bearing, meaning they give birth to live fish, no eggs. They come out as tiny fish ready to swim. Another interesting thing about guppies is how different the females and the males look. Adult males are bright and colorful. Their color helps them attract the female guppies. They are also long and slender. The adult females use up a lot of energy since they give birth to live fish instead of eggs, which is why they are larger and duller than the males. Contrary to their moms, the baby guppies are absolutely tiny. These in the tank are no more than 2 weeks old and only a couple millimeters in size. The babies are collected and put into their own tanks, otherwise the bigger guppies eat them unless they hide at the bottom of the tank. Yikes. Now, let's talk guppy training. When a guppy is attacked by a predator, it releases a chemical known as alarm cue. This lets other fish around know that danger is afoot. This chemical is released when a guppy's skin is damaged. Having to deal with predators is stressful enough. Now imagine that plus having to deal with the rising temperatures of the earth because of climate change. Can these fish handle the stress of both predators and high temperatures? How much will this overwhelming stress affect their ability to make the correct decisions? And could it cost them their life in the real world? Well, let's see. How does Veronica keep track of all the fish? Well, she has a testing room, and each fish stays in their testing tank until they're done. This way, she's able to keep a close eye on each fish and really identify if they are learning to respond appropriately to their disturbed environment. The fish in the testing tank undergo 2 types of disturbances: increasing temperatures and the risk of predators. Are they using real predators in these tanks? Of course not. That would be completely unethical, and they'd probably run out of guppies. Instead, they mimic predation using scare tactics. The fish also have privacy films. We can see them, and they can't see us. This helps them get some privacy during observation testing, which makes it more reliable. How can Veronica check their behavior, since they're fish? Well, she has 5 behavior criteria that help us understand their behavior. Calm swimming and foraging when they're relaxed, freezing and dashing quickly when they're very stressed, and finally, pacing back and forth when mildly stressed. This way, she's able to tell whether or not they are exhibiting a fear response and how quickly they do so. So far, results are surprising. It seems like fish are doing pretty well for themselves and are actually performing better when the 2 stressors are combined than just one. This is an optimistic but preliminary result that fish might be able to cope with the hardships climate change is causing. So in the end, I think it's fair to say that fish aren't as dumb as we think they are. I mean, some fish are so advanced, they can communicate by farting, like herrings.